Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Deafness45. I got the lady chilling with me tonight in a live stream. We're going to see what happens here. I just posted that we're going live. I'm trying to do a test stream, seeing how this works as I am direct connected this time. I've been going off Wi-Fi and we've been having issues, even though the internet should be fine, should be good. So let me just get this shared out quick and we'll go from there. Settings. I got to get into another tab here. Takes about a minute for StreamYard to notify people that I'm live for some reason. Share.
Girl, yeah.
Oops. Actually, I gotta.
Yeah.
What's up, Gate City? What up, bro? Timmy T. Hey, Timmy, how you doing, brother? William Carter, good to see you, my man. Hope all is good with you. Just gonna get this shared out real quick. Trying to run a test stream real quick. Just figured, I was actually on Pittsburgh's stream the other night. I don't know if you guys caught it or not or saw it, but some things kind of sometimes touch home when you pop on someone else's stream and they question you or they ask you certain things, which I always enjoy. I love, because really, like I always say, like talking about things, talking through things is really what helps people get through the struggles that they're going through. A lot of people don't do it enough. And that's what we're probably going to do tonight, man. We're just going to a little hangout stream. We're going to let people interact, chat, do what we want to do. We're not going to focus on sports cards. We're not going to focus on the hobby in general. If people want to, we can, but that's not really what this is about. This is just about us hanging out, a safe place where people can go to and hopefully help them get through their day. So that's what it's always been in the day before with the daily walk vlogs. And I guarantee you guys that those are going to be coming back. It's getting nice here in Minnesota. So we will be walking the dogs. And when we do, I will be firing up the stream live every once in a while on the phone and doing some walk vlogs and hanging out with you guys, interacting, talking about life, talking about daily struggles, whatever it may be. It doesn't really matter. Your boy might be a little bit tipsy, just a little. I don't know. You have to tell me. But either way, we're here, man. We're here. We're having a good time. Feel okay, but news is the worst. We're going to keep. What's going on? What's going on, Timmy?
Florida too. We definitely miss Florida as well.
She misses Florida.
Yes.
And if you guys don't know, we are probably going to be moving to Florida at some point. It's not going to be anytime soon. Like we gotta let the oldest boy get through middle school. He's got one more year. But probably after he finishes 8th grade is probably the time that we're going to probably move to Florida, because why? Why not? The prices of things here, like where we're at, we could get rid of this. We could sell this place. We could probably get a freaking really nice house in Florida for about what the value is on this place in the townhouse. So, and that's what a lot of people do in Minnesota. When they move down there, they have a house or they have whatever, they sell it, for X amount of money, 300, 400, 500,000. And then they basically go buy a nice house that's the same size in Florida for half of that or 3/4 of that. And they put the rest of the money in the bank and they're good. And for a lot of people to move to Florida, yes, it's more of a retirement state. But with my job, I have the ability to do the same thing I'm doing right now in Florida. And it doesn't change. Just because I go geographically to a different state doesn't mean it changes how my income status is as far as how much I can make or my ability. It's still the same. Like they don't know where I'm at. Any customer that calls me typically doesn't know what state I'm at, right? Because we have multiple distributors in multiple states. And at the end of the day, that doesn't even matter. Like I could be here, I could be in Florida, I could be in California, I could be in New York, I could be in Indiana. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna have the same impact on what I take home or what I sell, regardless of what state I'm in, because it's all internet driven. It's not storefront based. It's not any of that. So I can sell you a house. Alex, you're gonna be my realtor per se out in Florida. I don't know how that's gonna work. Gate City, man, how you doing, brother? Man, it's good to see you, man. I see you pop in first in the chat, and you are like one of the OGs with Pittsburgh, who I was just on the stream with the other night with Huddle as well. So hope all is well with you. Hope you're good. Hope all is still going good with you. How's the stream anyway? Is the quality of the stream all right? Is it? I don't know. I'm trying to test it because it's all have cancer and liver problem. Want operate on the cancer because I will die. Won't give me a liver because of cancer. So what kind of cancer is it, Timmy T, Triple T? Like, I apologize you're going through that, man. I have had multiple family members that have passed or died from cancer in the last 4 to 5 years, to be honest with you. I mean, I've had longer beyond that, but I've lost 2 uncles to cancer. I lost one uncle to brain cancer, and I lost one uncle to bone marrow cancer within 6 months of each other, honestly. So, oh man, I'm sorry, brother, man. I'm sorry. I tell you what, man, one of the harder visitations that I ever went through, I'll share some death story with you. One of the hardest life challenging visitation stories I've gone through was my Uncle Davis, who had brain cancer. And when I went to visit him, he wasn't quite on hospice yet, but he was very close. And I will tell you that I've never seen a man like you want to talk about like even as a male, right? As a guy, like we're supposed to be tough, we're supposed to be strong, but there are things that break us down. There are things that hurt us. There are things that, regardless of how tough or how strong we think we are, right? Whether we cry in the shower when we're really deep in our feelings, or we do it in front of other people, whatever. When I went to visit him, it was very, 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 very difficult. Like I kept catching myself in his room, and he was again, he wasn't at the hospice level. He was very close. And he was having a semi good day. So his pain level wasn't so bad because of the medications and everything else. But I will tell you that I caught myself just constantly like sitting there in tears, crying. And I remember like my sister was with me. My mother was with me, which my mother, God bless my mother, man. She is just a saint. Like, and I think most people would say that for their moms. But like for her to raise me and my sister with my dad not really in the picture for so many years, until my stepdad got in the mix, for her to do what she's done with her brothers, like my uncle that got brain cancer, he was the first one. And then her older brother then got the bone marrow cancer. And she was literally there with them all the time. She was in the hospital. She was by their bedside. She was making sure they were good. I mean, she dedicated so much of her time to them. And it's just it's another unselfish act that I hope I can half match what she does and what she's gone through and where she's been. But sitting there in that room and this crying and being emotional and whatever, and having my uncle come up to me and be like, look, man, like, it's okay. Like, it's life. Like, this is something we can't control. Like, it's going to happen. Like, just accept it. And for somebody who's going through that, for somebody who is actually going to be facing that death in a near future time, to be able to tell somebody else that has feelings towards that because they're a family member is deep. And it really touches a different place. And I will tell you that he has said a lot of things when he was in the hospital before he passed. And there was one time where, because my mom was kind of getting to a point where she was trying to tell him to just let go, like just let go, so he didn't have to go through the pain he was going through. And he kept telling us that when he would go to sleep or he'd fall asleep, he couldn't find his dad, right? Which was my grandpa, passed when he was probably 65, 70. I actually knew him fairly well. I remember when I was a young boy and I'd go up to the cabin and I'd go into his garage, his separate garage, his shed or his shop area. And he'd be like, come here, Jeff. I'm going to show you some tricks. And he'd throw up hammers and whatever and catch them and thought he was the coolest dude ever. Like, he was awesome, and there was a lot of awesome stories I have from him. And I remember like me and my cousin Aaron, one of my closest cousins, who fought MMA for 10 years out of Rochester in Minnesota here. And we used to go and we used to sponsor him, me and my best friend, when we were doing it, because he got in the game the same time we were doing it. And he was a badass. He used to be a Golden Gloves boxer in Rochester, out of Rochester. Look up Aaron Vold. That's my cousin. He would do all this shit. He went and he got in MMA, and he just used to whoop ass. Like, he went like 10-0 before he lost his first fight. And me and him, when we get up to the cabin and my grandpa was still alive, we were out in a boat. We took a rowboat. We took the rowboat out instead of the speedboat, and we went fishing. And these fucking young punks, like with the speedboat, like this nice speedboat, these young kids they kept spinning around because they knew we were fishing. So my cousin's like, fuck this. He reels his reel in, casts it back out, and he's like, I'm gonna hook their fucking leather on their boats because they're being dumbasses. And like he keeps trying, and these guys are getting like pissed off. So finally they take off. And we're still sitting there fishing, whatever. Half an hour goes by. We finally decide to go back. We go back to the cabin. We weren't far from the cabin. And all of our families around there, like my mom, my aunt, his mom, all of them, my grandpa, my grandma, all of them are out there. My sister, and they come speeding by, like by the front of the docks, and they start a bunch of them moon like all of us. And like my aunt and my mom and them are all laughing. And like me and my cousin get back on the dock, right? We're on the dock and we're like, come on, motherfuckers. Like, come out, come here, come park your boat. And my grandpa, my grandpa's just a badass. He comes out there and he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Get the fuck off the boat. And we're like, what do you mean, Grandpa? He's like, what are you guys doing? And my cousin looks at him. He goes, Grandpa, we're trying to reel him in for a fair game of ass whooping. He's like, get the fuck off the dock right now. Like, these are just some of the stories that I remember from my grandpa, even though he wasn't around long. But he and my uncle, going back to my uncle, I didn't sidetrack this too much, but he and my uncle, they didn't have a great relationship. And I'm going to explain to you guys why. And hopefully, maybe this will hit home to some people. Hopefully, there's not a household that's like this, but it's fucking sad. It really is fucking sad, because my uncle was a good dude. And I had three uncles on that side. My mom had three brothers. She had Gary, Mark, and Davis. And Davis is the youngest one that got the brain cancer. And when my uncle Mark and my uncle Gary and my grandpa were all fucking like all-American sports, football players, baseball players, etc. They're in the Hall of Fame in Kenyon, Minnesota. They're in the Hall of Fame they broke their records in their schools. It's a smaller school. It's not a big school. But let me give you this fun fact. My uncle Gary Strandamo, it's under Strandamo. That's my mother's maiden name. He went to Stanford University. He became a doctor. But when he was at Stanford, he actually played running back. He still holds a record at Stanford for like the longest run back, either on a kick or punt. I don't even remember what it was. It was like 102 yards or some shit like that, 98 yards. I don't even remember. It's long. But he still holds that record. Okay. So they were all big athletes like I was, like my cousins were, etc. However, my uncle Davis was never into the sports thing. He was into band. He was into that kind of stuff, debate shit, whatever. He was smart. He was intelligent too. Like, I feel like we have a lot of intelligence in the family, but he never really followed sports. He never really did the shit. So when he went through what he went through, a lot more stuff started coming out, like to the family, and they started letting us know a little bit more about what was really going on. So at my uncle's funeral, my uncle Gary, who's the one that passed shortly after he did the eulogy of his life. And he brought up the fact that he was bullied and picked on by his father and his brother because he wasn't into sports, because he was into band and he was in debate and whatever else. And it was a pretty touching part of the whole funeral because I was there and witnessed watching my uncle Gary look straight into the eyes of my uncle Mark and say he was bullied by his dad and one of his brothers. And it's just it's fucking sad. It really is, but it's the way it was, right? And to still look at a man like my uncle Davis and still be able to tell me while I'm fucking in tears because he's fucking going through what he's going through that everything's going to be okay. It's all good. We're good. Things are good. That fucking tells you something about somebody. Like, doesn't matter how many muscles are on some dude or how big some dude is or how many guys someone can knock out. Like, the real test of strength is when you're about to die and you can fucking tell other people that everything is good and it's okay. And you can do it without tears in your eyes. Not to say that he didn't ever cry or didn't sob or didn't do anything going through what he was going through before he died. But to be able to do it in front of the face of other people is crazy, especially family. All right. All right. So, I mean, guys, I'm always an open book, right? And we got however many people in here. It doesn't even really matter right now. I just want to test the stream. I'm feeling it. Like I'm kind of on a vibe right now because I've had some cocktails tonight and it's fine. And some people love it and some people hate it and it's fine. Sometimes it'll be gold and sometimes it won't. It doesn't really matter to me. Hopefully what I share with you helps somebody at some point get through something, whether it's something they faced before, they've had to deal with, or whatever it may be. Doesn't really matter to me, man. I'm just here to hang out with you guys and have a good time. Redbeard Breaks, what's up, brother, man? Good to see you, dude. I hope you're all doing good. I saw like a post, I think when I was in Florida. I don't want to say too much because I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure congrats to your wife on like getting rookie of the year in the realty in the area she's in. That's fucking amazing, man. Something like that doesn't come around all the time. Like, not everybody is capable of doing things like that. Like, it takes a special person to be able to succeed and over succeed everybody else in what they're doing, like realty or anything else, right? Selling houses, it doesn't matter, in sales in general, right? You have to have a certain mentality. You have to have a certain grind. You have to work every day like you're broke, which I always tell people to do. But if you don't, you're going to get out hustled. You're going to get outsold. You're not going to get that rookie of the year. You're not going to get that most sales of the year. You're not going to get any of those types of things. So shout out to them. Kyle Busch fan, Ryan Doherty. What up, man? Hope you're doing good. Lance, my brother, man. I love you, bro. Listen, man, I need to get you out here sometime, or we need to get together. We need to do something. I hope the fam's doing great. I hope your daughters are doing awesome. I hope they're doing amazing. Man, they're great. Your daughters are fucking amazing, man. I hope they're doing good. I hope they're still doing hockey. I know you got them into hockey and they started doing that. But man, it's good to see you, dude. It's good to see you fucking in here, man. Good to see you. I have my days. There's times I bawl my eyes. And Timmy T, man, you have to. Like, I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care if you're the strongest man in the world. If you don't ever take time for yourself to release or express the feelings that you're going through in life at times when it's tough, and we all know life is tough right now, right? We can't deny that, right? Fuck, the world could end any day, probably. Nuclear fucking war could happen. I don't know. I'm not here to get into politics. But I'm just saying, the way things are, who fucking knows where things are going, right? So just think about it, man. Just it's okay to cry. It's okay to show emotion. Like, emotion is one of the best things you can do in your life. Honestly, it really is. It truly is one of the best things you can do in your life. I know I'm going to show you Max. Got this, Timmy. Yeah, man, you have to, bro. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do, right? At this point, right now, Timmy, you have nothing to lose, bro. Besides fighting, right? The only thing you have to lose is your life. And whether God decides to take that at some point or not, and the battle can't be strong enough, go down fighting, go down swinging. Do everything you can possibly do to beat it, because you can. I believe it. And I know other people believe that too. You can beat what you're going through. It's a mentality, man. It's like I tell these young kids, it's a mentality. It's in your head. Like they get one little sense of a weird feeling in an ear or something. Oh my God, I got this crazy ear and I got to go to the doctor. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, let's get some peroxide. Let's put some peroxide in your ear. Let's see how that happens let's see what happens in a couple days. We're not going to just rush to the doctor. But I looked it up in a Google and Google told me to go to the doctor. Of course it told you to go to the doctor. Google is always going to tell you to go to the doctor because why? Because that's how money's made. They make money by you going to the doctor, whether you need to go there or not. And guess what? He never needed to go to the doctor. His ear is fine now. It's fine after 2 days. Peroxide in the ears, it's fine. It's good. Like sometimes we gotta step back when we have things thrown in our face or we have situations that we have to deal with. Sometimes we have to step back and really process it, think about it, think through it, and think, is this really what we need to do right now? Or maybe do we need to make it apparent that they toughen up a little bit more? Not life threatening or some kind of thing where they're going to get an infection, or obviously get the right antibiotics, get them in there. I'm not a doctor, but what I'm saying is sometimes we jump ship before we should. And I don't think that's always the right thing to do. What up, Clint? Hey, your card should be coming from my man Paul. There was a mix-up. I got him the address a couple days ago after we talked or after you text me. So you should have some kind of notification or it should be on its way over there to you. And we are going to be doing another auction soon. Probably going to do another one of Paul's. He's got so much stuff he wants to sell through, and he has the time to organize it, and I don't, like through my cards. So he said he's much more organized for this next one. So we'll probably do an auction sometime here this next week and sell some more of his stuff. But it should be on its way, Clint. Enter the tournament at the end of May. Can't wait to see, man. And that's just it. Like, continue to do what you enjoy doing. Don't let where you're at backstep you or push you back or not allow you to do what you want to do. Do it. Go out and get after it. Get it. Like, because you don't know. This might be the last time you can play golf. You may never play golf again after this. You could have a bad turn, which we hope doesn't happen, but you could literally play that golf, be at home a week later, and be bedridden and never be able to get out of bed again. We don't want that to happen, but that's a reality that could if you're dealing with something like cancer. We don't know how it reacts. We don't know how it comes. It can happen at any time. Yes, P.O. Box address. Yes, Clint. I won't stop, man. Yeah, man. Don't ever give up, man. And you know what? If you ever really need some true motivation, I still go back and watch these videos, and I'm not even somebody battling cancer right now, but I've had a lot of family that has. Go back through and watch any of the Jimmy V speeches, the famous speeches, anything, the never give up speeches, etc. Because man, those just light a different fire under your belly. Those are motivational, whether you're battling cancer, you're battling something else in life, you're having a struggle, you're trying to push through. Those are the types of things that get me going. Like, I'm the type of guy, I'm watching a movie and there's some spot in that movie where there's some crazy motivation or there's some kind of, speech or something. Guys, let's be honest. What's the Al Pacino? Any given Sunday? Any given Sunday, right? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can share this. Are they going to will they someone copyright me, will they, if I play a little clip? You think they will? I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, but I would love to watch this with you guys. I would love to watch this with you guys. Here, let me pause this. Let me add this to the screen. Invite. That's not it. How do I add? Share screen. There we go. Right here. All right. And why is it doing that? Okay. So it's like this. Okay, cool. All right. So let me play this, guys.
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team.
Run for the border. Guys, if you guys don't get hyped up or feel crazy after listening to this shit, I don't know what to tell you guys. Honestly, I really don't.
Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get...
What up, John? How you doing, brother?
That's part of life.
Hey, your stuff will be on its way out. It's packaged up. I just haven't been able to get to the post office, but it's all ready to roll.
Life's this game of inches.
We're gonna probably be doing another auction sometime next week here. I think selling Paul's stuff.
Life or football.
Hope you're doing good, brother. Here we have a little Hangout test stream because I did direct connect here.
1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us.
Like if this shit doesn't get you going, man, I don't know what to tell you.
Every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die.
Ain't seen. I'm gonna play another clip quick, and then I'll talk more after that. But I want to play one more clip because my man Timmy's in here, and I think he needs to see this after this one. I know not everybody loves this, but you know what? I did a lot of talking to start this stream. Let me get a little breather.
You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. Hell yeah. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen. Hell yeah. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
And that's a good freaking clip right there. Sick. All right, I got one more. Hang on. Wow. Sorry, guys. That was wrong. Okay. Froze up. Froze up here, guys. Sorry. That froze up. What the heck is happening? Mm, Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. Yeah. Did I lose everybody? I didn't lose anyone. All right. Good. That was some Andrew Tate craziness going on there. I don't know what. The computer froze up. Zoe's out with the kids. I got the door shut because I'm trying to go through this here. All right. I mean, I'm gonna start this over because this is the right video I was trying to play. I don't know what happened. But this my man Timmy needs to see this right now. Timmy's battling cancer. He's in the chat. So this is important. This is important. What up, Eloy? This is my bitch, he says. Yeah. What up? Sorry, guys, for Andrew Tate, crazy Balak over there, but to be honest, I listen to him a lot when he's talking about just motivational stuff. I don't agree on everything, like what he sees on women and everything else, but the motivational side of things, how to move in life, are pretty motivating. My man Timmy T is battling cancer. So I told him, man, don't give up. Don't give up the fight. Never give up. You gotta watch for Jimmy G motivational speech right here.
Thank you
The
very
man
much.
who's battling
Thank
about
you.
dying. Again,
That-
another man who can
That's
stand
the
and talk
lowest
like he
I've
can
ever
talk
seen Dick
and
Vitale
be in the
since
worst
the
state
owner
of
of the
his
Detroit
health
Pistons
ever.
called him in and told him he should go into broadcasting. Right? I can't tell you what an honor it is to
Yeah,
be
93, man.
mentioned in the same breath with an Arthur Ashe. This is something I certainly will treasure forever. But as was said on the tape, I don't have one of those things going with the cue cards, so I'm going to speak longer than anybody else has spoken tonight. That's the way it goes. Time is very precious to me. I don't know how much I have left, and I have some things that I would like to say. Hopefully, at the end, I'll have something that will be important to other people too.
Absolutely,
but
Winkler.
I can't help it. Now when I'm fighting cancer, everybody knows that. And people ask me all the time about how you go through your life and how's your day. And nothing has changed for me. As Dick said, I'm a very emotional, passionate man. I can't help it. That's being the son of Rocco and Angelina Valvano. That just comes with the territory, right? We hug, we kiss, we love. And when people say to me, how do you get through life or each day, it's the same thing. To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears.
We
to
just
be
talked
happiness
about
or
this,
joy.
guys,
Think about it.
literally.
If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special. And so I can't help. I rode on the plane up today with Mike Krzyzewski, my good friend and a wonderful coach. What people don't realize, he's a 10 times better person than he is a coach. And we know he's a great coach. He's meant a lot to me in these last 5 or 6 months of my battle. But when I look at Mike, I think we competed against each other as players. I coached against him for 15 years. And I always have to think about what's important in life is to think, to me, of three things: where you started, where you are, and where you're going to be. Those are the three things that I try and do every day. And, you know, when I think about getting up and giving a speech, I can't help it. I have to remember the first speech I ever gave. I was coaching at Rutgers University. That was my first job. That's wonderful. And I was the freshman coach. That's when freshmen played on freshman team. And I was so fired up about my first job. I see Lou Holtz, Coach Holtz here. What was it like the first job you had, right? The very first time you stood in the locker room to give a pep talk. That's a special place, the locker room, for a coach to give a talk. So my idol as a coach was Vince Lombardi. And I read this book called Commitment to Excellence by Vince Lombardi. And in the book, Lombardi talked about the first time he spoke before his Green Bay Packer team in a locker room. They were perennial losers.
Watching Jimmy V
and I'm reading this, and Lombardi said he was thinking it's going to be a long talk, a short talk, but he wanted to be emotional, he said be brief. And this is what he did. He normally you get in a locker room, I don't know, 25 minutes, a half hour before the team takes the field. You do your little X and O's, and then you give the great Newt Rockney talk. We all do. Speech number 84. You pull them right out. You get ready. Get your squad ready. This is the first one I ever gave. And I read this thing, Lombardi, what he said was he didn't go in. He waited. His team was wondering, where is he? Where is this great coach? He's not there. 10 minutes. He's still not there. 3 minutes before they have to take the field, Lombardi comes in, bangs the door open. And I think you all remember what great presence he had, right? Great presence. And he walked in, and he just walked back and forth like this, just staring at the players. And he said, all eyes on me. I'm reading this in this book. I'm getting a picture of this Lombardi before his first game. And he said, gentlemen, we will be successful this year. You can focus on 3 things and 3 things only. Your family, your religion, and the Green Bay Packers. And he like that. And the rest of it, they knocked the walls down. The rest was history. I said, that's beautiful. I'm going to do that. Your family, your religion, and Rutgers basketball. That's it. I had it. Listen, I'm 21 years old. The kids I'm coaching are 19. All right? And I'm going to be the greatest coach in the world, the next Lombardi. And I'm ready. And I'm practicing out in right inside the locker room. The manager's telling me, you got to go in. Not yet. Family, religion, Rutgers basketball. All eyes on me. I got it. And now finally he said, 3 minutes. I said, fine. True story. I go to knock the doors open, just like Lombardi. Boom. It didn't open. I almost broke my arm. I was like, it was when it didn't open. Now I'm down. The players are looking. Coach, help the coach up. Help him up. And now I did like Lombardi. I walked back and forth, right? And I was going like that with my arm, get the feeling back in it. And finally I said, gentlemen, all eyes on me. These kids wanted to play. They're 19. Let's go. I said, gentlemen, we'll be successful this year if you can focus on 3 things and 3 things only. They said, yeah. Said your family, your religion, and the Green Bay Packers, I told you. I did that. I remember that. I remember where I came from. It's so important to know where you are. And I know where I am right now. How do you go from where you are to where you want to be? And I think you have to have an enthusiasm for life. You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it. I talked about my family. My family is so important. People think I have courage. The courage of my family is my wife, Pam, my 3 daughters here, Nicole, Jamie, Leanne, my mom, who is right here too. And that screen is flashing up there 30 seconds. Like I care about that screen right now, huh?
Okay, care about that.
I got tumors all over my body. I'm worried about some guy in the back going 30 seconds. Huh? You got a laugh. Hey, phenomenal, buddy. You got a laugh. I just got one last thing. I urge all of you, to enjoy your life, the precious moments you have, to spend each day with some laughter and some thought, to get your emotions going, to be enthusiastic every day. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said, nothing great can be accomplished without enthusiasm, to keep your dreams alive in spite of problems, whatever you have, to be able to work hard for your dreams to come true, become a reality. Now I look at where I am now, and I know what I want to do. What I would like to be able to do is to spend whatever time I have left and to give and maybe some hope to others. All right, Arthur Ashe Foundation is a wonderful thing. And AIDS, the amount of money pouring in for AIDS is not enough, but it is significant. But if I told you it's 10 times the amount that goes in for cancer research, I also tell you that 500,000 people will die this year of cancer. And I also tell you that 1 in every 4 will be afflicted with this disease. And yet, for somehow, we seem to have put it in a little bit of the background. I want to bring it back on the front table. We need your help. I need your help. We need money for research. It may not save my life. It may save my children's lives. It may save someone you love. And it's very important. And ESPN has been so kind to support me in this endeavor and allow me to announce tonight that with ESPN's support, which means what? Their money and their dollars, that they're helping me, we are starting the Jimmy V Foundation for Cancer Research. And its motto is, don't give up. Don't ever give up. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Every minute that I have left, I will thank God for the day and the moment I have. And if you see me, smile and maybe give me a hug, because that's important to me too. But try, if you can, to support, whether it's AIDS or the Cancer Foundation, so that someone else might survive, might prosper, and might actually be cured of this dreaded disease. I can't thank ESPN enough for allowing this to happen, and I'm going to work as hard as I can, for cancer research, and hopefully maybe we'll have some cures and some breakthroughs. And I'd like to think I'm going to fight my brains out to be back here again next year for the Arthur Ashe recipient. I want to give it next year. I know I've got to go. I've got to go. And I got one last thing. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind. It cannot touch my heart. And it cannot touch my soul. And those three things are going to carry on.
Thanks,
forever.
Mark, man. I appreciate you, brother.
And God bless you all.
Crazy, man. I don't know how I did that, but I tried to end everything else and took myself out. Mark, I appreciate you, man. Guys, I'm not really one to share long videos or have videos on my streams typically, but I feel like tonight it's just kind of a hangout stream, whatever. And I feel like it's important. Like, we got somebody in our community who's battling cancer. There may be more than just him as well. There may be other people that haven't said anything or are keeping it quiet. Again, it goes back to things I say, like, we don't know what people are going through, right? We have no idea what someone else is going through in their day-to-day, whether it's financially, depression, whatever, divorce, whatever it may be, like something within their family, who knows, health, and they just don't want to talk about it or bring it up. Some are better about it, to talk more about it, and some aren't. But it's kind of like what I said, like watching even that Jimmy V video, and him saying, like, we don't know what others are going through. We don't know what others are battling. Like, we don't know what tomorrow brings. Like, and again, like I brought up about like my uncle earlier that was going through brain cancer, and me when I went to visit him and not being able to keep it together, and him being like, it's okay, everything's okay. And just to see a different side of strength that maybe you've never really faced before, right? Because when we think as a male, I think most times we think of strength as somebody who's just has an ability to withstand a lot, go through a lot, push through a lot, very strong, can do whatever they want to do, isn't afraid of anybody, whatever, right? But I think when it comes to our health, and when we come to really battling our health, and we're going through cancer, or we're going through whatever it is, personally, I feel like it is something that it's a different side of strength that you can't create, right? It's built within us when we have to face the toughest times, the toughest battles per se, right? And maybe that can go similar, not saying it is, not comparing it, but maybe you could say, like, people who have addiction issues or have gone through and had to battle and almost killed themselves on substance abuse, etc., and found a way to battle through it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not a shrink. I'm not a doctor. This isn't professional advice. I never claim it is. But talking through things, as I always say, is a good thing to do in life. That's why we're here right now, just discussing things. It's important, guys. Like, some of you I know probably have it built into you that you are tough as nails and there's nothing that could destroy you, take you, push you, move you, outdo you, whatever. And that's fine. It's okay. That's an alpha mentality. That's what most of us have most often. But sometimes we got to dive a little deeper. Sometimes we got to find it within ourselves of what really matters. What's really most important, right? Because if we feel great today and we're healthy today and we feel like we have a whole life ahead of us to whatever year that is or whatever age that is, unless something else happens, unless we get something thrown in front of us that we have to battle, we have to struggle through, that has an effect on our body, that can tear our body down, could kill our bodies, could shut our bodies down, whatever the case may be, right? Doesn't really matter. That's a whole different fight. That's a whole different strength. That's a whole different demeanor we have to walk through every day. That's a whole different beast. Like you're battling a whole different bear, right? And it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to think unless we're faced with it and it's actually in front of us. But if we were, say, to have that happen to us, or we were having to battle through that, how well do you think you could hold up? How much do you feel you would break down? And it's okay to break down. I've said that all night tonight to show emotion. But I've shared stories with you guys earlier, like with my uncle and stuff, like me in tears, a family member close to him, not in tears, telling me everything is good. It's going to be okay. Everything's fine. That's a whole different fucking strength. Like that's a whole different bear, I feel, in my own personal opinion. And I may be wrong. I don't know. I've been wrong many times in my life. Never claimed I was perfect. Never have said I was perfect. But Redbeard, what up, brother, man? I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you hanging out, man, honestly. And again, congrats to you. Hope everything is all good with you. Congrats to your wife on winning that award you guys posted about, man. It's awesome, man. Like, I'm about seeing things like that. Like, I love seeing things like that because that, like, in a sales aspect, whether it's realty, selling houses, whether it's what I'm into, the auto industry, selling whatever, where the sky's the limit, like, as much as there is so much there for you to go after, there is so many other people trying to take what you're going after, right? And you're not guaranteed anything, usually, depending upon how it's worked out with the companies. If you're selling, you don't get an hourly wage. You don't get certain benefits, maybe necessarily. Like, you literally have to go after everything you want to eat. And I've said it before, and I feel like that changes the mentality in people. Like, where if you have that right, always starving, I'm broke mentality, whether you are or you aren't, and you're in a position like that, you can strive to be so much more. It makes you a different animal. It makes you a different beast. Like, it literally puts the grind and the hustle to a whole different extreme. And I think it's important. And that's why I've always tried to keep myself where I'm at. Like, I've had jobs in the past where I was salary management and I was this and that. But I knew that I was a salesperson. I knew that I could sell things. I knew that I could talk to people. I knew that I could adapt to anybody that was put in front of me. I will change the way I am and how I talk to somebody by how they approach me and how they are put in front of me. I will adapt to them because that's what you have to do. That's that's part of the sales gig. Like if somebody doesn't feel like they're built into your report and they can't understand or relate to you enough, they're not going to, right? They could call 10, 20, 30 other businesses or other people and buy the same thing from someone else. Who knows? They might even get it cheaper. They might even get it for less money. Who knows, man? Who freaking knows? But if you can do everything you can do to relate to that person that's in front of you, sales limit, baby. I'm giving you guys some of my sales secrets. Like I've been doing sales for a long time now. Like since I was pretty much 8. Well, when I was 18, I got my first commission job. And when I was 18, I got my first commission job, and it was with Circuit City. So if you guys know what Circuit City is, they sold electronics, they started like when high definition TVs first came in. That's how long ago this was. DirecTV satellite systems were just booming, things like that. This is when your boy was 18 years old, just getting into the sales gig of things. And I did sales through Circuit City for, I think, 2.5 years, maybe 3. We went through 9/11. I remember like when 9/11 happened, I was still working there. I showed up to work. There was like nobody on the roads. When I got in the store, it was like silent. We had the TVs on with all the updates of what's going on, what happened, etc. My firstborn was in my ex-wife's stomach in Pittsburgh. She was doing some trade show. I was trying to figure out how the frick I was going to get her back because my daughter, you know what I mean? Like nothing's going to happen to my kid. And I think like 2.5, 3 years after that is when Circuit City decided they shut down the company for a day or two. And I knew this was coming because if you're a numbers person and you do sales and you do everything else and you're constantly looking at the sales reports and what you're doing and where you're at and you're out selling way more this year than you were last year, but your commissions aren't really different or much different, you know that there's a trend where it's continuing to lower, which means the company is not doing as well because they can't pay you properly or they can't pay you like they used to pay you unless they were way overpaying you, which I don't think was the case. But because a lot of times, like these companies too, like Sony, Panasonic, like because I sold high definition TVs, satellite systems, audio, surround sound systems, all 9 yards. A lot of these manufacturers also had separate commission type driven things they had within the company at that time. So you'd get checks from like Sony separately for like additional spiffs or commissions per se, right? And when they shut the company down and we went to the meeting, whatever, it's like, okay, we got severance packages for you. You can go hourly. We're going to continue to run the company, but everybody's going to be hourly. There's no more commission. And that day that I heard that, I felt so freaking bad. I was still young. So I was like, you know what? Sky's the limit for me. I can go and do anything. But I felt bad because there was a guy he kind of took me under his wing. And he had like 6 kids. He was married. He was still with his wife, still with the family. He had 6 kids. He supported the whole family. She didn't work. She hadn't for years. He made 6 figures. He was one of the top salespeople at Circuit City. This is out of the Burnsville, Minnesota store, which is where a Best Buy is now. But he did over 6 figures, and he pretty much had to walk away from the company because the severance package just wasn't going to do it. And I wasn't going to stand for it either because I was like, you know what? Forget this. I am going to go. I'm going to get a management job, a sales manager job, something. I'm going to get in the management side of things because I feel like that's something I can do as well. So I went over to Best Buy, the Best Buy in Apple Valley, Minnesota, and I interviewed. And one of the sales managers that was at Circuit City actually went over to Best Buy to work once this company did all these changes and shit, because the money wasn't there. And what ended up happening was I went over there and I interviewed with the store manager. His name was Brett. I forget what his last name was. He was a super cool dude, kind of a younger guy. And I'm like, I really feel like I could be a manager at Best Buy. And he's like, well, you need to prove to me that you have that ability to do that. I said, okay, what do you want me to do? And he said, I'm going to put you in charge of the auto video department. You're going to have 6 months. And I need you to it's not ranking because they would rank every department and the store both. Every department was ranked and the store in all different categories, and they gave you an overall rank. And every month you'd go through it. So we'd have we'd have management or sales meetings once a month, and we go through all these numbers, right? As departments. And if your department was failing or struggling, your ass was grass. Like, you were getting your ass. Like, it was like, what are you going to do to change this shit? Or you're getting demoted or you're getting fired. And so I took the audio video department on. And when I took it on, immediately I was like, because we sold like those service plans on all the shit we sold at Circuit City, but it was like way more expensive than it was at Best Buy. And when I looked at some of the pricing on the Best Buy, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I could sell these things to customers at Circuit City for like 3 times the price. How am I going to be able to sell more of these to people? And sure enough, like, I was putting service plans on like 19-inch TVs, like literally putting service plans on 19-inch TVs. And I remember Thad, who came from Circuit City, went to Best Buy. He was one of the sales managers. He just kept looking at me and like laughing. He's like, dude, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? I know, I saw it. What are you doing? And I'm like, dude, I'm proving my point. I'm trying to prove to you guys that this is something I can do. I can outsell and whatever. And then they started having me hold these meetings, store meetings, sales meetings, whatever. And I'd get the whole freaking store pumped up. I had the audio video department in Apple Valley, Minnesota. The time I was there, I had it top 10 in the company 4 out of the 6 months, and top 50 6 out of the 6. And we were 1 in the company 1 month, and 2 in the company another month, and like 7 in the company in the other month. And then they promoted me. They sent me to I went to North Dakota to be the sales manager training. I went there for a week. My 2 littlest ones were like 3 and 2 at the time, 2 and 3, something like that. That was tough because it was one of my first times really having to leave them for like a week. But man, I got into it. I did it. And then when I rolled in as a sales manager of Best Buy, excuse me, it was like during the holiday time. And I already knew holidays were going to be a grind, like, because I'd been in retail enough, management and everything else. It was 12-hour, 14-hour days. I was working like 16-hour days, almost 18 hours, a lot of days that I would work. And I started to realize it's just not something for me. It's not something I want to do. It's not something I want to be a part of. And that's when I took my change and I jumped back into sales. And that's really when one of my best friends that I've known for 35 years reached out to me and said, look, man, what do you want to do? Where are you at? And I was like, and we talked about things. I asked him a lot of questions about where he was at and what he was selling and how much. And, well, can we both really eat? And then I started asking him other things about what can we expand on? What can we do? What can we, is there other product availability that we don't have that we can sell? He's like, yes, but I don't really want to learn about it. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, fine, just add it, put it on the site. Let me do it. I don't even know anything about it, but I'll learn it. And I think that's really where any of my success in life, if I would say I have any success, has really been, is that I've never been afraid to just jump 2 feet in. I've never been afraid to make a change, right? I stress about it. I talk about it all the time. I've said this on numerous streams, lives, etc. Like, in life, if you're not happy in a job you're in, if you're struggling every day to wake up to go to it, why are you doing it? Why are you putting yourself through that every day? And will you find the perfect job? Will everybody in their life find the perfect job? No, I'm not saying anybody will. But if you're not happy at all, and I'm not saying a job's supposed to make you happy, but if you're not happy any day and your stomach turns or it hurts, why you do it? Why do you put yourself through it? There's got to be something else somewhere else. I think I've shared this story before. I'm going to share this one more time before I get off here tonight. But when I was in between, I had the company I work for now, I took a little break after a couple years because it was my best friend. I felt like the business got too overbearing in our relationship. And it also was, some of the things were making him feel like he like had more control over me than what he really did, because at the end of the day, I was really self-employed, right? I just worked for his company. And he started like, I need you to be here at this time because I have a doctor's appointment. You need to drive me to this doctor's appointment while you run the company. Because I could do it mobily. I can do it mobily still. It's not the best way to do it in most cases, but you can do it. And I almost felt like I was 10 minutes. I almost felt like I was being taken advantage of, right? So what I ended up doing is telling him, you know what? I'm going my own way. I'm not going to work with this company anymore. I'm going to go do something else. And when I did decide to do that, I put in resumes, whatever. I had a lot of different sales people contact me, but this one company in particular, Tri-State Bobcat, reached out to me. And so I went in, and they were just going through they just bought a new building. It was actually an old bowling alley that they bought that they were transferring everything over from. And they sold Bobcats, earth mover equipment, Avance, Toro, commercial equipment, etc. So, and my resume was with management and everything else, sales management, store management, inventory control stuff, blah, 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 sales, etc. Like they met with the first time the store manager met me. He's like, man, I'm telling you, like there's 10 different jobs that I could put you in. I just need to figure out which one I want to put you in. We're going to hire you. Like, I just don't know where we want to go with you. Like, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of different places we could use you. I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, I got to talk to my son, because his son was like kind of like the VP or vice president of the company. So I had to go back and meet with both of them, and met with them. And his son was like almost my age, and like we just clicked right away. It was like pretty cool, like just interacting, talking with him, etc. But they continued to try to figure out where they want to put me, and they're like, well, you know what we want to do, since we're moving everything in here and we don't have inventory under control. We want to first have you run inventory, but that's not really what your gig is going to be here. Like, you're going to be an outside sales rep. We want you to sell specific equipment. We're going to actually fly you out to Chicago to the home office of this equipment company, and you're going to learn all the ins and outs. And then you're going to have your own company truck, your trailer, and you're going to go out and you're going to generate your sales, outside sales rep. And I was like, cool. So I got the warehouse all put together, organized, inventoried properly, etc. Did that for like 5-6 months throughout the whole winter time. Spring comes around, and they're like, all right, we're flying you out to Chicago. You're going to do your thing. I'm like, cool. He gives me a company gas card. I got a company truck. I got a trailer. I feel like I'm the coolest dude ever, right? Well, as much as I grind, and as much as I would go out every single day and go generate and find demos and sell equipment and meet with customers and drop pamphlets off of my business card, like I was doing this every single day. And I started making sales, but I was literally his whole sales team. The 7 other sales guys he had between his 3 stores had all been with him for 15 plus years. So if you want to use the word OGs, I guess, in the game, in that realm, OGs for that, right? And I'm just the new guy. And so every time that I would have a demo or a sales gig or something with a city per se, like city of whatever or city of this, because they were a lot of our big customers, whoever the sales rep that already had dealt with them with other stuff would hit me up and be like, just so you know, that's my customer, blah, blah, blah. So I would never get credit for any of this shit. So like, I'm literally trying to pull in, find new, even though I'm selling things, they're not selling them to them. I'm selling them. I'm demoing them. I'm doing whatever. I'm selling them. I'm getting shit on like I'm not doing anything. And like, he just kept riding me. And it wasn't the son, it was the store owner, because he was an older guy. I just felt like he always had it out for me. Well, if you this is going back to what I'm talking about, like not feeling good or not liking a job you're doing and your stomach hurting when you get up in the morning, whatever. This is how I felt for a long time with this company. And I always thought to myself, when's the day going to come where I'm going to tell him to go F himself, right? The owner or whatever, and quit. Well, that day finally showed up, and I went out, I got the truck loaded. I had demos set up. I got back to my desk real quick. We had our own computer, laptops, and desks and stuff to check emails and do whatever. And he comes up to me, and he's got this fucking spring landscaping magazine. And it's a lot of companies put their advertisements in there, etc. And he's paging through it while he's staring at me. He's like, have you met with this company? And I'm like, yep, I met with them. I got a demo, whatever. No, I haven't been able to meet with them yet, but I can do that. If you want me to do that today, sir, I'll do that instead of the demos and everything I have lined up. And he kept going through and he'd rip out the pages that, I'd say I didn't meet with. And so he's like, no, go on with your day. And we get through it all. So I go and I load up the truck. I'm driving out of the parking lot of the location, the store, and the company cell phone rings, and it's him. And if he's calling your cell phone, it's never a good thing, because he would just wait until you got back to the office if it wasn't a big deal. So I had this big freaking sale, multiple units, trade-in stuff, etc. And felt like everything was done fair, played fair. We went through it all fair. Well, he didn't think so. So he, looking over the numbers, was like, what the hell? He's like, first, because there was another sales guy, another Jeff, but it was a Jeff V. And he's like, first I was yelling at Jeff V about this. He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And I come to find out this is your old ordeal. He's like, where the hell did you get these trade-in numbers? I was like, what? I was like, trade-in numbers? I'm like, from Jim, the Toro rep, the commercial rep that we always take with us on any appraising for trade-ins. He's like, does he work for Tri-State Bobcat? And I'm like, no, but he's the one that we're supposed to have appraise and help us price out on trade-in stuff, on used stuff. He's like, and I'm like, and I at that point, I was already at the point where I'm going to tell this guy to go fuck himself pretty much. I'm like, Bill, I want to ask you a question real quick. He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you even want me to work for you? And he like hesitated and he goes, I'm not sure right now. Go and do what you have to do today for work and then come back and we'll talk at the end of the day. And I said, if you have to think about me working for you, I'm not working for you anymore. I'm done. I fucking quit. And I turned the truck around, pulled it in. Like my adrenaline was just flowing. Grabbed the company phone, grabbed whatever was in the company truck of my stuff. Went in, grabbed my shit off the desk. I was storming right to the owner's office. He was like in the far corner, like in the back end. I go in there thinking I'm going to tell him to go shove it. He's not there. So I'm like, fuck, he's got to be in his son's office. And me and his son got along great. We partied together. We went on trade shows. Like we did some crazy shit. We were hanging out with Jim Beam's fucking nephew one night, like in Kentucky. It was fucking crazy. But I go to his son's office, which is next door. And sure enough, he's sitting on his son's couch, which is like straight ahead when I walk in. And I fucking walk right to him. I have the company gas card, this company cell phone. I hand it to him. He's like, what's this? And I said, you heard me on the phone. I fucking quit. And I turn and I look at his son. And I look at him and I go, I appreciate the opportunity. And fucking walked out. And that was that fucking felt so good. I just, honestly, just sharing that with you guys, like, me wanting to not work there for months because of how I felt I was being treated, how I felt I was going to be fired any day for really nothing. Like, it felt freaking good to just do it. Even though I didn't know what was going to happen next, what was going to go. I didn't have another job lined up at the time. Like, I didn't just have something. I wasn't already hired somewhere else. But you know what? I wasn't going to go another day of just being miserable. Why? Why do it to yourself? Why put yourself through that? There's no reason to. So screw your 10 minutes. I said no. All right, brother. Timmy T. I'm sorry, man. Sorry I missed that. Have a good night, man. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, I just don't settle for anything. Like, don't feel like you have to be somewhere like where it's trapped and you have no other direction or nowhere to go. Like, there's always something else. And I think sometimes bigger risks we take, even though they're scary, sometimes put us in a much better position. It just depends on how much you want to risk or what you want to do. you can find work. There's work out there. There's anything out there. Like you could work for yourself. You could figure out a way to make money on your own, doing your own thing. You can actually do that. It's just if you have the ability and you have the grind, you have the sense of wanting to do that. That's up to you. It's truly up to you. All right, man. Yeah, well, John, we're gonna be live any day, but yeah, I'll get that shit out to you. I'm sorry, buddy. All right. I'm gonna get off here as well. I think I've been going long enough. An hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. You got some of the deaf rant, I guess you'd say. But I appreciate everybody hanging out, man. Eloy, Jim, John, Timmy T, Redbeard Breaks, my man. Shout out to you. Mark M, John, JP, Jim F, Alex B, Lance was in here, the card hobbyist, Timmy T, Clint. Appreciate all you guys, man. Kyle Bush, William Carter. All y'all. You guys are great, man. I appreciate you, my man. Everybody make sure you check out my boy, the GOAT, too. Eloy the GOAT. And check out the shorts, man. I'm dropping some shorts lately. Check out some of the shorts. I got a couple of decent ones up there. Some old classics. Eloy might appreciate one of them as well. He was in that same house when that was filmed. One of the shorts I put up today. That was from back at the National. So, but I appreciate you guys, man. Love y'all. Be good. Until next time. We will have an auction soon. Probably going. Yeah, I'm not dropping my shorts for you. There's only one person I drop my shorts for, baby. But yes, we'll be having an auction soon, sometime this coming week. Probably going to be Paul O. He's got a bunch of stuff organized, team lotted, nice stuff, etc. We didn't really get through much of anything last time because last time we did this is why I'm testing this as well because it's direct connected. Is we had to keep rebooting the stream when we did that. It was like 6 streams. So hopefully it all stay together. So, all right, gang. I appreciate y'all. And we will see you guys soon. Be good. Be real. Be safe. Love to y'all.